This is a current trends case brief of Dodds v. Halton District Catholic School Board and the application of the Ontario Human Rights Code. Citation: Dodds v. Halton District Catholic School Board, 2019, HRTO 1437. Facts: David Dodds, the applicant, was arguing that he was discriminated for not practicing the Catholic religion, and he was unsuccessful in obtaining the position of Senior Human Rights Manager by his employers in the Halton District Catholic School Board, therefore causing a breach in the Human Rights Code. When the applicant had applied for the position, he indicated that he wasn't practicing Catholic, and he was not interviewed for the position, and he believes it was because he mentioned he was not practicing the religion. Facts continued. The applicant filed the application on September 6, 2019, and was further dismissed by Justice Bouchard as there was a lack of evidence in the motives of the respondent and how they had breached the Human Rights Code. In the end, the applicant was again not satisfied with the court's decision, and on September 13, 2019, he asked that the tribunal reconsider its decision and his ability to demand a reconsideration is stated under the section 45.7 of the Code. There are two main issues being involved in this case. The first one is the applicant being discriminated for not practicing Catholic and thus being the reason for the applicant not getting the position? The second is, was the job description provided by the respondent a case of discrimination against those who don't practice Catholic, causing a breach of the Ontario Human Rights Code? The decision of Justice Bouchard and the court is that the request for reconsideration should be dismissed. Rationale Issue 1. Mr. Dodds argues that he told the employer, Halton District Catholic School Board, that he does not practice Catholic, that he further was discriminated and not provided the opportunity for an interview to the position, thus resulting in a breach of Section 23.1 of the Ontario Human Rights Code. In this case, Justice Bouchard determines that the applicant has not provided enough evidence that he was discriminated by the respondent, as he only issues that he had applied and that was not granted an interview. Furthermore, the applicant had misinterpreted Section 45.5, Part 2 of the Code, as the test does indicate that religious qualification is reasonable given the nature of the employment. In the end, for the lack of evidence provided by the applicant and Section 45.5, Part 2 of the Code, Justice Bouchard is unable to see any case of discrimination and breach of the Ontario Human Rights Code. Rationale Issue 2. Mr. Dodds further argues that the job description which was provided by the respondent proves to be discriminative in itself and also breaches the Ontario Human Rights Code, as he believes that the position of Senior Human Rights Manager is not a position of teaching and therefore should be an exemption from Section 23 of the Code. But Justice Bouchard and the respondent counter with Section 24 of the Code, where religious-based employment requires that religious qualifications is reasonable. Furthermore, Justice Bouchard reiterates that the job requirements or qualifications do not make any mention of Catholicism or of a specific creed. The only mention of Catholicism is the goals and objectives of Catholic education, which includes the worth and dignity in every person, promoting gospel values, and social justice. In the end, in reference to Section 24 of the Code and lack of evidence provided by the applicant, Justice Bouchard is unable to see any breach of the Ontario Human Rights Code. Analysis. Although the applicant has requested a reconsideration to the already established decision to the subject of the discrimination shown towards him in not practicing Catholic, resulting in the non-employment of Senior Human Rights Manager in the Halton District Catholic School Board, there was a lack of evidence provided against the respondent as iterated by Justice Bouchard in reference to Section 24 of the Code. In addition, the applicant's argument in which the position of the Senior Human Rights Manager should be an exception to this rule, as that it is not a teaching position. But it is further proven that this position still demands religious qualifications, therefore causing the argument to be non-valid. In this case, it is shown that Justice Bouchard refers to many sections of the code in order to aid her final decision, and which allows for the final decision to dismiss both the initial application and request for reconsideration. Survey question. Do you agree with Justice Bouchard's decision to dismiss both the initial application and request for reconsideration? Please respond yes with a check mark or no with an X. Thank you for your time and looking forward to hearing everybody else's presentations.